we have this picture. So what I want you to visualize when you see this is the blue plane. You want to look at it as if it's the front of the classroom, Mackenzie. The front of the classroom. And that green is like this wall of the classroom. Okay? So when you see it, I think a lot of people think plane is like such a weird word, and they don't understand what it means. But you literally want to think of it like a wall. So those are two walls that come together. Name 4 points. So here, looking at this, are any of these letters not a point?
Yes. No.
No. How do I know they're all points? They all have a dot. So you can name any 4 that you want in all of your heart. So I'm going to name all of them, but you could name any 4 of these. So H, G, F. What else do we have? A what?
K.
L, B, C, D, E. What? What is it? Okay. Okay. So you can name any 4 of those. Name 3 collinear points. What does collinear mean, Tatiana? Same line. So let's do this one first, and then we can do that one.
Are we writing some notebook paper?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's okay.
At least I asked.
It's for your own review. So it's more so when we get to this one particular problem, I need you to make sure you know how to do. But you just want to follow along. So I've highlighted a line in green. Does it have 3 collinear points?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does. So we could say H, G, what's the last letter? F. All right, let's do another line. Okay, you only need to name 3 of them, but I'm naming all of them just so we're all on the same page because there are many answers. That's why this section is so fun for me to grade. What are the collinear points on the purple line? A, L, B. All right, and then we have one more line, correct? Well, it's not a line. What is it? Array, but they're still collinear because array is a type of line. So those are C, D, and E. So I would have taken any of these sets, but they had to be all together. So HGF had to be together. ALB had to be together. Name 2 lines. There are only 2 lines, and they're highlighted in green and purple. Why isn't CDE a line? Because it has an endpoint. It's array. So you're right. So when we're naming, let's name the one in green. Can I use the word line?
No.
Why can't I use the word line here?
Because they're pointing back.
Not any of them are italics, so you'd see like an M or an L, sometimes a lowercase a, but you would see it in italics and in lowercase, and we don't see that. So we do need to use this symbol, which has arrowheads above, and then use 2 letters. Does it matter which 2 letters on this line we could use? No. You could say HG. You could say GF, GH, FG, HF, FH. So why can I use only HG and it still represents the whole line?
Because they're the same line. Because it's still...
Because the arrows, yeah. Those arrows go both directions. All right, and then if we wanted to name the purple line, again, we don't have a little lowercase letter, so we can't use the word line, but we still want to use that symbol, and then pick 2 letters on that purple line. Sure, LB, or BA, or LA, or AB. Yes, sir?
Would you count anything off if you named all the points on the line?
Yes, because that's not how you name it. You only use 2 points when you're naming a line. Make sure when you're taking your quiz that you actually pay attention to how you're naming things. I had a kid last hour, it said, name a point that blah, blah, blah. And his answer said plain something. Well, if I ask for a point, how many letters are you using? 1. And did I ask for a plane? No, I asked for a point. So make sure you're reading and you label correctly. If I walk around and say, hey, check how you're labeling your paper or labeling those symbols, that means you aren't labeling it correctly. That's not me saying, oh, just double check, Marcus. It's like me saying, no, Marcus, like something's wrong on your paper. Okay? So if you hear me say that, please check. And I'm not saying that you would. I'm sure you're going to do great. That's your dog. Okay, so name 3 coplanar points. So what does coplanar mean again?
Same plane.
Same plane. So what about, so I just outlined a green one. So if we wanted to name the points that are on the green plane, we could name H, we could name G, we could name F. Are there any other points that are on the green plane? E.
No, I was
L is on it. What else is on it?
A.
A and B.
I wasn't saying E.
Sorry.
I was saying.
You could use any.
You can use any of them. Any of these. So you see ALB, it's like the corner between these two walls. So it'd be like here where the American flag is. Okay? It's a part of both walls. So that means if we're naming any coplanar points on the blue plane, we could say ALB. What else could we say? K, C, D, E. All right. Now we're going to name the plane that is shaded green. Whenever you name a plane, what goes first? Yes, ma'am. What's your question?
When are you meant to use commas and when you're not?
When you're just naming points. When you name points, you put a comma. When you're naming planes, you're naming a plane, so you don't use a comma. It's really not a big deal. It just breaks it up for me. It makes it easier to read that I know that. Does that make sense? So anytime you name a point, use a comma. I used a comma here just to break them up. You don't have to use one there. When you're naming this plane, so how many letters do you use to name a plane? 3. Doesn't matter which 3.
No.
Yeah.
Kind of. It does. They can't be on the same line. So we cannot say plane HGF and we cannot say plane ALB. But we could use any variation of them. We could say HAL. We could say BAG. We could say GFB, LBF. Any combination of 3 letters, but they cannot be from the same line. Are we okay with that one? Okay. Give 2 names for the plane that is shaded blue. So again, if you're naming a plane, plane comes first. And then we can use any 3 letters that are on this plane, except for they cannot be on the same line. So can I say plane CDE?
No.
No, they're on the same line. But I could say a plane. Some people like to spell stuff. So CAB, ALC, BCK. You could use the letter K. KED, KED. KA, anything like that. Okay, so any 3. Name 3 line segments. If you look directly at this picture, it doesn't look like there are any line segments. But what I want you to think of when you see a line that has 2 arrows, think of it like this never-ending thing of string. Have you ever seen a ball of yarn? Okay, it feels like it's never-ending, especially if you're re-spinning it. I used to crochet when I was in high school, actually, and I would get these big things of yarn, and I'd have to re-thread them because you want it in a ball and not in like the. If you've ever been to a craft store, it's like in a long type thing. Anyways, so what you want to think of is this long string, and you're cutting it in 2 pieces to make it a line segment, to have a start and an end. So you can take any of these lines and form a line segment. So we could say something as small as HG. What makes a line segment when I'm naming it? The end point, but when you're naming it, what does it look like? The symbol. Straight line. So me saying HG with a straight line, that makes it different than this HG because it has the symbol. Okay? So this means line segment. This means a line that goes forever and ever and ever. Okay? So we can make a ton of them. You literally just pick 2 letters. Let's look at this middle line. Choose 2 places to cut it at. What'd you say? To cut it. We could say A and B if we really wanted to. A, B. What makes it a line segment again is this symbol. Just a straight line. It means it starts at A and it stops at B. Go ahead and pick a third. Doesn't matter which one.
C.
Sure. CE. Or CD is fine. So you start at C and you would just end at E. Okay? The last one you can do again with rays. But there is already a ray here. Can anybody see the ray? Yeah, ray what? CE. Okay, again, rays point to the right. When you're naming opposite rays, make sure you have an arrow pointing to the right. All right, so there's CE. Let's look at this line. We could make a ray anywhere we wanted. Choose an endpoint. Sure, L. So our endpoint is L, and which direction would you like to go towards? Up. So what is that letter? That's A. So LA, sure. That means starting at L and going towards A. We can do that last line, the HGF line. Ray, where would we like to start? Sure, F, and then go towards which letter? G. Okay, that's all it means by name array. All right, and then we're almost finished with this portion. Use a diagram to decide whether the statement is true or false. Okay, we're probably going to be quicker than you would be able to draw this, so just stay engaged. Points A, R, and C are collinear. So, what did I say? Sorry, A, R, and B, because I can read. A, R, and B. Collinear means they're on the same line. So is that true? No, because straight line would be straight. So, falso. You're going to learn Spanish in this class, too, just because I say it sometimes. So, falso. BW. So, we got BW. And what else? AT are lines. Yeah, so you can say true, but Verdad means true as well. Just for your information. BR and RT are opposite rays. So I can already tell you that they're not opposite rays. Can anybody see why?
They're not like this.
True. They aren't across from each other. They're not on the same line. They don't have the same endpoint. That's what I was mostly thinking of. So, is that what you said?
She said it like 7 times. She was repeatedly saying it.
I'm sorry, Alana. Alana is so true. They don't have the same endpoint. Same endpoint would mean they would have the same first letter. Claps for Alana. Just good job. Just good job. So sorry. So it is false because here's what you have. You have B going towards R, then you have R going towards T. So they don't have the same endpoint. Same endpoint, they would both have the letter R and go in completely opposite directions. So let's name a pair that are opposite rays. Let's look. All right, what would our endpoint be of any ray that we have? R. All right, so ray R, let's say B, sure. So RB, what is the opposite ray of? RW. We could have said, for opposite rays, we could say RA, which would be opposite of RT. All right, last, plane D. Could it also be named plane ART? Why not? They're on the same line, so falso. You can write true or false whenever you get to a problem like this. You can write the Spanish version, I don't care. Questions on true and false here?
Can I write the sign language, please?
No.
I'm in sign language.
Well, congratulations. Don't hate me. Okay. We are getting super close to being done. So, in order to plot these points, this is so beautiful. In order to I did this on purpose. Just wait. In order to plot these, it says plot the points in a coordinate plane, then decide whether AB is congruent or AB and CD are congruent. Okay, so we got to plot our points, 6, -1. So I need to go over 6. So look, watch, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take that. Down 1. Here's letter A. Letter B is 1, -1. So here's letter B. So what's the length of AB? 5. How do you know that?
6 minus 1.
Yeah, you can do that. Or you can count. Same thing. Letter C is 2, -3. So over 2, down 3. And then 4, -3. So we can already tell that they don't look great. What is the measure of CD? 2. So are they congruent? No. So here's a statement that you write. Sorry. I'm trying to find some sort of room. AB. How do I tell that they're not congruent? What symbol would I write? A slash between it. Not congruent. So just like when you have not equal to, this is equal to, that's not equal to. You do the same thing. And then we got this, and then we have to do a problem really, really quickly. All right, so this is the segment addition postulate. We're finding the length of QS, and we know From Q to R is 12, and from R to S is 19. So what do we do with those two numbers to find the whole line? Yeah, add 12 plus 19 is 31. So that means QS equals 31. And then the last one, the whole length of the line is 59. We're trying to find a piece of it. So will our piece be bigger than 59? No. But we already have the rest of the line is 47. So what can we do? Subtract. 59 minus 47 is 12. And then you're going to want to write, sorry, that's kind of not bright. So sorry. You're going to want to write this one down. You're going to have a problem similar to this on your test review. I want you to be able to do it. But we got to go quickly so that we can be at lunch on time. Oh, I go to lunch after this, so I want to be at lunch on time. So let's go. Yes, dear.
On the graph.
Okay.
So when this
That's true. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give you a small example. It's not going to be to scale. Okay? So I drew this beautiful straight red line, which is gorgeous. So a piece of it is 2, a piece of it is 4, a piece of it is 6. What is the measure of the entire line?
10, I don't know,
Why do we know it's 12? 2 plus 4 plus 6 equals 12. So you actually use the same property for a problem like this. Okay? You add each of the pieces up, and you set it equal to the whole line. Okay? It's not on your quiz today, but it is on your test review, and I want you to be prepared for it. The one on your test review is a little simpler than this. I'd rather do the hard one in class, and it be simpler for you. So what is the first piece of our line? 13. And our second piece? 6. And our third piece? Huh? So we add each of them up, just like we added up 2, 4, and 6. And then what does the whole line equal? 4x minus 29. So this is what I meant by geometry is so different than other maths, because this is actually Algebra 1. This is the full extent of how difficult our math will get in geometry. But if you don't know to do this, add this, this, and this instead of equal, then you wouldn't get it right. Does that make sense? So that's why you have to do Algebra 1 first before doing this. So we need to solve for x, and then we're going to plug it back in. You don't see the directions, but it says find UV. All right, so we need to combine like terms. What's 13 plus 6? 19. All right, and then you still have 19 minus 18 on one side. So what's 19 minus 18? 1 plus 2x. And then can I combine anything on the right side? No. 4x minus 29. Okay, so a lot of people ask me where I got 1. All I did was add 13 plus 6 and then minus 18. Okay? What's my smaller x? 2x. So how do I move that 2x on the other side? Subtract 2x. So 1 equals 2x minus 29. All right, so then what do I do next to get 2x by itself? Not divide by 2. Add 29. Sorry, some of you are ahead of me. So 30 equals 2x. Now what do I do? Divide by 2. So x equals 15. If it asks you to find the measure of a line segment, so like UV, what's the measure of UV right now? 2x minus 18. So if I know what x is, how can I figure out what the measure of UV is? Plug it in, plug it in. Y'all are too young to know this, but there was like a commercial about plugins, like Febreze. It would say plug it in, plug it in. I'll show you. Okay, anyways. So 2 times 15 minus 18. What's 2 times 15? 30 minus 18 is 12. So UV equals 12. You are then prepared for your quiz as well as your test review.